What is up? Welcome back to Miles TV, where we are doing my episodic review of MythCraft, the podcast. So last we left off, this was part one of the season finale, the arc finale, the chapter finale, whatever you want to call it in D&D. We'll just go with season one, campaign one, finale. We did get news that Kyle was stepping down as the DM for MythCraft, the podcast. And Nathan is stepping up to be the DM. Nathan was a player, and now he's the DM. And man, I know like DMs have NPCs that help out the party, but to actually be playing a PC and then turn to DM, it's like, I don't know, it feels illegal. You got the inside knowledge now, and then you're still playing your old character, and it's just like, do you turn them into NPCs or do you keep playing them as like players? But if I had my guess, I think they're gonna like fill that role. They'll probably get TJ or somebody, Tyrell, to play or fill in, because he did do the interlude. He played a character, so I'm pretty sure season 2, campaign 2, they're gonna get somebody to fill. Man, I was about to say Nivets. God, I don't. What is his real name? I'm glad he doesn't watch my podcast. God, the guy who plays Nivets. I need, like, he only ever does the main stuff, which I know he does a lot of the sound things, but I've only seen him on the Homebrew, and he does a lot of stuff for the Patreon group. Pippin, that's his name, Pippin. I need more Pippin. I wish he would do more things. I think Pippin was on Sanity Damage too, or he is on Sanity Damage. Anyway, enough chit-chatting. Let's get into why we are all here. Kind of to review the MythCraft, the podcast, final episode of Campaign 1. Campaign 1, episode 28, Homeward Bound. This episode starts off right where it left off, and this is going to be a short review. They did combat this episode, and I'm not getting too much into combat anymore. The group makes it through the gate, no problem. Last we got left off on the cliffhanger. Nathan did some rolls for some of the NPCs to see if they would get caught. They made it through, no problem. They talk and they mess with Shermy, which is always fun. I feel like Shermy's that character of the group who gets messed with and tries to laugh it off, and eventually he's gonna snap on everybody. If you're watching Cobra Kai, there's a character on Cobra Kai that they keep calling Penis Breath. So he defects to a enemy team, and they're like, "How could you do that?" And then he's like, "You literally call me Penis Breath since you met me." So as they proceed through the checkpoints and all the stuff, they get encountered by the Emperor's son, and I don't recall his name, but the Emperor's son shows up on a Wyvern, whatever way you want to say it. And the only thing I can think of is like, is he a Fire Emblem character? Like, I want to ride a Wyvern. So as a DM, I wonder if this was a always encounter, or was this an avoidable event? Because I mean, like, you know, like video games, when you get to the checkpoint, you got to fight the bad guy. And I'll never forget, I was a player one time in somebody's game, and we tried to throw off the bad guys by immediately doing the thing that we weren't supposed to do. And the bad guys were there, and then the DM was like, yeah, it's just like one of those video game levels. The bad guys are always going to show up when you go do the thing. And I don't know about that, but I was just wondering like if this is a skippable event. Combat begins, and I'm not going to get crazy detailed about combat. I'm probably not even going to go into it. Go listen to the episode. It's great. There's great moments. Keres and Lucian are an insane duo, though. Keres was already a good utility character. Lucian was an insane utility character. You put them together, you're not dying. You're not dying. You're gonna go first in initiative, and you're not gonna die. So they're fighting the Emperor's son, and it's going back and forth, and they're killing all the guards and everything. And I just have a random thought of like, are they not using non-lethal damage? I remember this whole thing was like, we had to wait and see who drew blood first so we can start this war. And so it technically was our heroes that drew blood first. So that was not cool. But I guess they were the ones that were kidnapped. Yeah, so I don't know if the war is gonna, campaign 2 is gonna start, and then the war is gonna kick off, and it's gonna be all their fault, especially Keres, because she killed the Emperor's son. Anyway, Keres gets the last hit on the Emperor's son, and they sprout wings and KO'd him, and everybody just watches him bleed out, and I was just like, are we not using non-lethal damage? But Keres gets the last hit, and Thorn says some last words. We find out, like, apparently Thorn has something to do with the Emperor's family, but Thorn cuts ties to the Emperor's family. They end up leaving a prisoner alive, which I still think should have been the Emperor's son, but hey, whatever. They leave a prisoner alive, just kind of like a calling card, like, now I'm thinking about it. Why did they want to do that? Why was that important? I don't know. The Queen might have some words about that. All right, so this is part 2 of the campaign finale, and right here is basically how it ends. I feel like the anime that lost budget are getting canceled, so they rushed through the end, because right here they were just like, we get to the house, we get to the portal, we go through it, we live the rest, like not the rest of our lives, but we get to whatever, and then Nathan does like the small outro, and I was just like, that felt the fight was good. The fight was good with Emperor Nerian's son. Keres getting the last hit felt some kind of justice in a way. It wasn't Emperor Nerian himself, but it was his son. I guess Keres would know of him. So it did feel right, but the rushing scenes through, like, at that point there was no commentary from the players. It was just kind of like the DM says, this happens, that happens. All right, that's it for your campaign 1. See you guys later. And which I know that Nathan just took over, and I don't know if Kyle gave him all his notes, or Nathan's going to do something completely different, or he didn't have notes. I don't know, but it did feel rushed. And for somebody who really enjoyed this podcast, the fight was good. The ending itself, the story of campaign 1 just felt a little blah at the end. Which, again, granted that Kyle's not there, so, and Nathan took over. I don't know, suddenly, or this was planned, or, he had some 2-week notice or something. But I just didn't like how it ended, because it was just like, we go through the portal, and I'm like, oh, I guess they made it. So, and that's how they get to the house, they go through the portal, and the episode ends. That's it. I mean, and that's literally it. I don't even think like there was much commentary. But 2-part episode, campaign finale. again, go listen to the episode so you can get the combat, get the commentary, do the combat. Because, I review it and, I talk here and there, but it's nothing like listening to the episode all together. Okay. This episode, I'm definitely giving it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Because the ending was, you strive so hard to have like a good cliffhanger or a good ending that keeps your characters coming back, or keep your listeners, coming back. So it's like most people leave on a cliffhanger, or there's an after credit scene of like Emperor Nerian being like, they killed my son. Okay, let's go to war. So that not having that there and feeling a little rush just kind of like killed the vibe for me, because the fight was good. The fighting was good. I love Tanner. MVP in my eyes. I feel like I always make Lucian the MVP. Well, Thistle has got it in a lot of times, but Lucian was the MVP with the utility. But yeah, it's just I keep saying the same thing, so we're gonna move on. But MythCraft, since this is the campaign ending episode, the series all together, and we're gonna overlook Kyle leaving. 10 out of 10. I would say a 9.8 because, again, I still don't know the story of MythCraft besides these adventurers in the middle of this warring kingdom, and they randomly get thrown into it. So that's the only way I would score it, like a 9.5 or a 9.8. MythCraft, 10 out of 10. It had a great story, great actors, great players, great DM, a new system that makes you want to learn it. MythCraft, 10 out of 10. I can't stress that enough. If you guys have not listened to MythCraft the podcast, go listen. If somehow you get to the last episode of this, go listen to MythCraft. It's awesome. Yeah, that's it. Go join them in the Discord. Go talk to them. It's MythCraft the podcast. The Homebrew channel's Discord. Go talk to them. Hit them up. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as for always, thanks for tuning in to Miles TV. You guys have a good night. Bye.